The incident took place in September 2017 at the pathology department of St. Bernard's Hospital. The first complainant claimed that Daniel Cassaglia, the medical director, had physically pushed him with both hands by the shoulders, swore and shouted at him, and aggressively accused him of interfering with an investigation into a patient. The second complainant said Dr. Cassaglia had pointed his finger at her, cornered her in a corridor, acted in an aggressive manner, and instructed her that none of her staff should look into the information he was searching for in the hospital records system. Both complainants were represented by Andrew Cardona. The GHA, represented by Mark Isola, maintained a neutral stance in respect of the complaints made against Dr. Cassaglia, but argued that even if the facts as presented by the complainants were accepted, they were isolated incidents and therefore could not constitute bullying as determined by law. For his part, during the course of submitting evidence to the tribunal, Dr. Cassaglia denied that any assault had taken place and said he was worried there had been collusion by lab staff when they prepared their witness statements. The tribunal, chaired by Joey Nunez, sat for a hearing in March and April this year. In his judgment, Mr. Nunez said it was his view that Dr. Cassaglia entered the department suspecting, wrongly as it turned out, that the first complainant had prevented him from obtaining patient records, which he required for his investigation. He said Dr. Cassaglia had interpreted this as just one more example of the department's obstruction to his authority, and approached the complainant with the intention of speaking to him in private. He said he didn't think Dr. Cassaglia had intended to assault him, but pushed him on his shoulders with sufficient force to make him go backwards, which legally was an assault. Once in the room, Mr. Nunez found that Dr. Cassaglia didn't scream or shout, but did speak in a raised voice as he was angry and frustrated. He said whether this could be considered aggressive or threatening depended on the person, but accepted that the complainant felt distressed and alarmed as a result. The chairman said although this was an isolated incident, it was serious enough to be considered bullying, and therefore judged that the complaint was well-founded. However, in the case of the second complainant, Mr. Nunez did not accept that she had been cornered by Dr. Cassaglia and believed he had no intention other than to remind her to ensure that other employees didn't gossip about the investigation. He said even if the complainant regarded his manner to be offensive or intimidating, it was a one-off incident and not serious enough to be considered bullying. The tribunal now needs to make a decision as to what orders under the Bullying Act merit an award, and so the chairman will be hearing from all the lawyers representing the respective parties at a case management conference to be held in due course.